West Bengal Chief Minister Suvendu Adhikari-led government has moved ahead on its election promise to detect, delete and deport illegal foreigners and directed all district magistrates to set up holding centers for illegal immigrants taken into custody before their deportation. The BJP government has commissioned holding centers in all 23 districts for illegal Bangladeshi, Rohingya and other immigrants awaiting deportation, resuming a process stalled by the erstwhile Mamta-led TMC government for a year in defiance of MHA guidelines. It comes shortly after the Chief Minister announced that the government had adopted a detect, delete and deport policy, a phrase that's long associated with the BJP's political messaging in Bengal on infiltration and border issues. The proposed facilities would serve as temporary shelters, centers for people detained over suspected illegal stay and foreign nationals whose deportation procedures are being processed. Under the center's guidelines, people suspected of entering the country illegally may be kept in such facilities for up to 30 days while authorities verify their nationality and documents. And now I want to open this up for a discussion with our panelists. I'm joined in by Dr. P.K. Mishra, former ADG BSF. I have P.K. Agarwal, former Additional Chief Secretary of West Bengal. I also have retired Major General Sudhakarji as a defense expert, and I have Mr. Gautam Mukherjee, senior journalist, joining us. Thank you all for joining me on this discussion. I want to start with you first, Dr. Mishra. Operationally, how will the new holding centers and direct handover policy from state police or RPF to BSF improve pushback efficiency at borders like Petropol or Bashirhat?
Yes, I can well tell you. I just spoke to various areas. I spoke to Kuch Bihar border, where the fencing has started. I also spoke to Fasidia, where 27 kilometers land was handed over by Suvendu Adhikari ji to BSF direct, and the fencing work has started. And nice of it that I also checked up from Nadia, North 24 Parganas, Malda, and Kuch Bihar border, and particularly Murshidabad. The holding areas are also very confirmed. I'll tell you, these areas are totally demographic change is there at all these places. Of course, in Assam, Karimganj also, but I'm coming to West Bengal. These 5 places which I told, that complete demographic change is there in this border. And what has happened earlier when during Mamta Raj, any persons, in fact, only the court order, if it is there, they come to BSF, and it was supposed to be officially handed over to BJP on the ground. I'm telling you exactly what was happening in the border, because I have seen it and I know what is happening in the border by BSF. And we contact the border guard of Bangladesh, and after 7 days, the Bangladesh border guard will definitely tell us that, sorry, this gentleman or this lady, they don't belong to Bangladesh and we will not accept it. And that was the person, and these areas, these persons, they remain and have their food in our area. And now what has happened, I'll tell you, after Up Sindhu, thousands of Bangladeshis, they were detected in Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, and Punjab and Haryana. They were shifted, even by Delhi police also. They were shifted by Indian Airlines planes to Agartala, and they were pushed back. I'll tell you the difference between handing over and pushback.
Right.
During Mamta Raj, we were supposed to hand over, and BJP will never accept it. Now here, we are pushing them back. At the border, BSF receives it direct, not through court. The state, after ascertaining their detect through, whether they are really Bangladesh, they are sent to border, BSF border post, and BSF used to push them at night to Bangladesh after verifying that, yes, they are really Bangladesh people. And we don't accept it back. They want to again return in some other terrain to India, but that is not possible. Now they cannot come, because now in Fasidewa and Kuch Bihar, all these borders are being sealed now and fencing work has started. Now this holding area in all the districts, if they make it, that's win in eyes of it, because It is detect and deport. It's very clear. I will tell you about the delete. Delete is not that. Delete is only for the electoral roll. Their names will be deleted. But
Okay.
about deportation, I will tell you very clearly. Deportation doesn't require. If we wait that every deportation will receive a court order, certainly nothing can be done. The deportation should come. The state should verify that they are Bangladeshis. That should be detected as they were detected in Gujarat, Punjab, Haryana, and also by Delhi police. They should go straight after verification to BSF and they should be deported. Deported means they should be pushed back at night to Bangladesh. That is the system to be followed, and the holding area which Mr. Subhendu Adhikari has now stated that he is making it. Few have already been made, I am telling you. And those persons, after verification, if they stay in the holding area, they will be handed over batch by batch to BSF, and BSF will definitely push them back to Bangladesh, and that's the end of it. And they cannot return to India. And we cannot have so many crores of Bangladeshi people in our country, whether they vary from 2 crores to 6 crores.
Right.
I have written a book called Bangladesh Migrants: A Threat to India. This book was released by ex-Chief Minister of Gujarat. I don't want to name him, but this shows how many people from Bangladesh they have come in 71 and 75, and that also after that. So we have to be very cautious. We have to see the border is totally sealed. We have to see the smart fencing of the border to come up. We have to see the security grid which Mr. Amit Shah has recently stated in our BSF investor ceremony at Begum Bhavan at Delhi.
All right.
Yeah.
Dr. Mishra, I also want to go now to Mr. Agarwal, P.K. Agarwal, former Additional Chief Secretary of West Bengal government. Sir, from your experience, how practical is the new directive for direct BSF handover and setting up district level holding centers? What administrative bottlenecks, whether it's identification, documentation, coordination, have historically slowed such deportations?
Firstly, I would like to tell that there should not be deportation, it should be repatriation of Bangladesh. They should be sent back to their country. So, secondly, I don't understand why there is so much of problem of land to hand over to BSF. In fact, the central government should provide money for the land acquisition, for the fencing, and that that creates a lot of delays. Now that the state government has handed over the land in West Bengal, so the things have now become easy. But I am sure that it will take time. But I fail to understand why do you allow the Bangladeshis to come to India? The BSF should be very cautious. They should not make our borders porous so that the Bangladeshis can come. So we should not be blaming all on the citizens on the border, but citizens on the border should also ensure that they should not invite or they should not welcome those from Bangladeshis. What I found as an administrative problem, those holding areas, there are so many Bangladeshis in the border district, Kuch Bihar, Malda, Murshidabad, that it is difficult to hold such a big population. I was district magistrate of Kuch Bihar, which has 500 kilometers of border, and I found all the border jails during my time from 85 to 87 were flooded. Naturally, the district magistrate, when he is sitting with the coordination meeting with the BSF, he would not like BSFs to send so many of people. So now these holding areas, in fact, these jails should be upgraded, and more jails should be made in the border districts and border subdivisions. That should be one of the major things which should be done.
Right.
Now, documentation which is faulty, the courts should also be there. They should be separately deal with those cases of Bangladeshis because it takes a lot of time. And those cases should be decided very fast because as per the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, because there is a human elements involved. So you can you cannot deport them just like that. So there has to be a court order that they are illegal immigrant, and those decisions in the border districts should be taken very fast. This takes time. And I would also suggest that at the diplomatic channels, I found so much of not activism. And it was in 1971 war. I found in 1971 war it was declared that sending Bangladeshis to India it was an economic aggression, and that we are forgetting. Like this terrorism, it is an aggression, economic and security aggression on a country. So we should also activize our diplomatic channel, and I fail to understand why on issues with Bangladeshis we do not also have these issues to be discussed. Because why do we do this? And once I found before 2 years there were very good economic conditions of Bangladesh. So refugees were not coming. The immigrants were not coming. So many immigrants were not coming. When there is so much of this Islamization and then people push to the borders. So this Bangladeshi, we should also ensure our neighbor country is also prosperous, so that these people don't come. And I would also say that there should be a better coordination with BSF and BDR. This Bangladeshi rifles, they're very adamant to take back those people.
Okay.
And I find how BSF can be more effective. And it is so army should also be there side by side with BSF. Because why should BDR refuse? I have to push back. But ultimately, in final analysis, which I have experienced in my duration as a district magistrate, pushback is the only solution.
Right.
Because they don't accept them as their own citizen. That is a very tragedy.
Okay.
So we should also take at the level of various level of international agencies who vouch for those immigrants if they are pushed back, and we should also prepare a big brochure how they are a security risk for us, how they are a risk to our social fabric, and how they are the risk for our security. And those things should be, well drafted, and we should at various levels, we should, so that United Nations Refugee Commission, various organizations, Human Rights Commission, they do not put their foot down.
Okay. So
I
pushback is,
feel
I
that
think,
we have
something
not
both of
projected
you are
our
agreeing
case in a very, very good manner at the international level. I hope in
Right.
future all these things will be done and mass exodus will be
Okay.
prevented. SIR has done a lot of good things.
Right.
Many of these Bangladeshis have already gone back to Bangladesh, but they are not so many. But I think this is the economic difference, and border people should not feel that by a cheaper labor
Alright.
from Bangladesh,
In fact,
we should employ them. And
Mr.
there's awareness should
Agarwal,
also
I
be
would
developed
also
among the
now like to bring in General Sudhakar ji, who's also there with us. Let's get in a defense opinion as well here. General Sudhakar, both of them are agreeing that pushback is the only solution when it comes to illegals along the border. What is the scale of the national security threat that I want to understand from you that's posed by illegal infiltration from Bangladesh, including potential links to radicalization, smuggling, or demographic changes in border states like Bengal?
Yeah, Kriti, good evening. Thank you for taking me for your show, and my very deep and warm regards to very distinguished co-panelists. And also, I wish the best of luck to your viewers. Your question actually reminds me quotation by Winston Churchill long time back, and he said, if there is no enemy within a country, no external threat can defeat any country. So the enemy within the country today is gradually getting radicalized because of these illegal immigrants from immediate neighborhood of India, and particularly Bangladesh, because once upon a time Bangladesh happened to be integral part of India of undivided British Empire, and consequent to the liberation of Bangladesh, large number of refugees have stayed on, and because the fencing, because of the peculiarity of the geography, that being contiguous between India and Bangladesh, villages are spilling over. One part of the village is towards India, the other part is towards Bangladesh. And fortunately, we have had the enclave exchange of 2015 successfully, although at a cost of parting a large acreage of land to Bangladesh. But in matters of border issues, political decisions are very, very important than the technical ones. So it's a golden milestone that has been achieved. But these illegal migrants are the primary source because the dynamics of security imperatives have undergone change post abrogation of Article 370 and 35 Alpha on 5th of August 2019. After 5th of August 2019, it is the Foreign Minister of Pakistan, Mr. Qureshi, who had air dashed to China on 9th of August 2019. He stayed there for 2 days, consulted the senior leadership in the hierarchy, and they formulated a counter strategy to put India in place. The counter strategy started with a bang, and that bang manifested on ground with the revival of proxy war south of Pir Panjal ranges, which had gone dormant for the preceding 10 to 12 years because of no activity by the terrorists in that corridor, and the troops had to be pulled out from there to respective theaters of command. But soon, what was witnessed was this happened in 2019, late 2019, and by mid June 2020, the Galwan incident took place, and what followed was the extended standoff. It is part of a strategy which has been framed and formulated between Pakistan and China. So, this extended standoff pulled out troops, whatever troops we had in the dormant sectors south of Pir Panjal ranges or towards Manipur, towards the northern border. When they shifted to northern border as part of the extended standoff, we started experiencing a kind of a turbulent phase of terrorism south of Pir Panjal ranges, which kept on spreading from Poonch to Rajouri to Kathua to Doda and thereafter into the valley floor. And also in the east, we soon saw by 2023, we all know what happened in Manipur. Because of the court judgment, the Mai Tai and the Cookies, they came onto the street and leading to a violent phase of their life, which had witnessed a considerable length of time, 9 to 12 years of normalcy, the preceding years I am talking of.
Okay.
So all this put together, what I am saying is that the illegal migrants in India, whether from Bangladesh or from Myanmar or from any other country, neighborhood I am talking of, are definitely, they act as a kind of a potential sleeper cell to be operated by the dynamic situations which have evolved during Yunus time in Bangladesh. The epicenter of terrorism, which earlier was the Afghan-Pakistan corridor, I would say, to a large an extent, it had shifted to Bangladesh, which consists of ISIS. It has got ISI under the leadership of ISI. The Rohingyas are operating. You have the Al Qaeda. You have Jaish-e-Mohammed. You have Lashkar-e-Toiba there. You have the Hamas and Hezbollah also present. And also recently we have had the Delhi blast, I think on 10th of December or so.
Okay.
So that actually gives us, it points towards a kind of a nefarious design to carry out multiple hybrid kind of attacks inside India. So therefore, sooner we do it, better it is. I have a strategy, Kriti, if you have time, I would like to give out a counter strategy because this is well said. The government has come out loud and clearly with assertive policy. But in matters which involves two neighbors, we are not America and we are a contiguous neighbor. Once upon a time, we happened to have Bangladesh as part of our West Bengal, or Bengal call it, and it has been severed off from Pakistan. So reality has to be factored in, and whether it is pushback or repatriation or deportation, all of them are going to be fraught with the end state that we're going to achieve. We should be very clear about the end state. End state demands that even though it takes time, even though we have to navigate a complex and adamant kind of a leadership or the people who are dealing with the subject in Bangladesh, we have to take them on board, and it must be done amicably. Otherwise, holding camps will continue to remain as holding camps.
Okay.
Mr. Agarwal brought out the point that the BDR will never be willing to take the people back. I am privy to certain issues. They
Yeah.
will never take them back.
Okay,
That is
let's
the kind
then
of
bring in Mr. Mukherjee also, senior journalist with us. Mr. Mukherjee, how does this fit into the national picture? Alignment with Union Home Ministry's push, potential for other states to follow, and effects on India-Bangladesh relations?
I think the states which are contiguous to Bangladesh, from Tripura all the way up to the northeast Mizoram and Manipur, and particularly West Bengal, Assam, Tripura, are now politically aligned in the sense that they are all quite clear and in agreement that illegal Bangladeshis must go back. One of the first things is to destroy their livelihood. Mostly, they have occupied lands, government lands in the main, illegally. Therefore, the bulldozer Raj should prevail, and in conjunction with the fencing of the border, these people will now have nowhere to go. They should be rounded up, their nationality should be verified, and they should be put in the holding pens. After they're in the holding pens, you will find that a number of them would be only too willing to go back to Bangladesh voluntarily rather than stay in jail indefinitely. So those should be taken to the border and sent across. Many are already going. As soon as the BJP government took over in West Bengal, there was an exodus towards the border posts, and many people have crossed over on their own. The second part is, I don't believe amicably anything will be done with regard to repatriation vis-a-vis Bangladesh, but pressure may work very well. They are dependent on us for water, for electricity, for raw materials, and a number of other things. We can drag our feet on all of this unless they keep taking people back. And in order not to overwhelm the situation, we shouldn't send too many at one go, but continuously send them back. It's worked rather well in Assam, where the lands have been reclaimed. Many of these people have gone back or have been pushed back. So it isn't as complicated as it may seem. It's just that there was no political will, lacking in the past. And as far as other issues, Myanmar, the Chinese interference, the CIA, the ISI, we have to deal with them in different pockets and not mix the whole thing into one conundrum that becomes unsolvable. There is no reason why we can't send back 100,000 people a year without much difficulty. The problem is that if you do not have detention centers, for example, in Bandra East, you demolished their dwellings and took over the land, but the Bangladeshis, Rohingyas, etc., they dispersed like cockroaches, and they will find other perches there in Bombay or in other parts of the country. Whereas if you arrest them and put them into holding pens, they cannot disappear into the woodwork at which they are fairly adept. So this has to be done. The ones with a border on Bangladesh are the ones that will be the gateway. Other states will have to transport such people from their states into the border areas and then out. This will be a continuous process. They didn't come in one day, and it would be wrong for us to think we could deport them all in a hurry.
Right.
In America, they have deported quite a few people who have come in illegally But really, what they've deported is a fraction compared to the numbers that have come in under previous regimes.
All
So
right.
we have to be
Unfortunately,
realistic.
that's all I have time for in this discussion.